Hey, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in to All Truth Some Guitar, episode 5. All Truth Some Guitar is where we get together this way. How you doing? Have a seat. Make yourself comfortable. Where we get together and we collaborate on some music. A lot of it's going to be, that I'm doing, is going to be guitar, hence the name All Truth Some Guitar. But it's not always going to be guitar. It might be keyboards or something that I do. But what I do is I record a little bit of the beginnings of a song. I upload it to a site where you can then download it, the audio, and then you add to it. It could be your vocals, or it could be kazoo, or it could be drums, or whatever you want. It could be any kind of music, whatever you feel fits. It could be rap or opera or rock, I don't care, whatever. And as long as it's positive and hopefully relatively family friendly. And then you upload what you recorded, either all mixed together or separate tracks. If it is separate tracks, try to have the very beginning of what I record on there so that I can line up the tracks, or whoever mixes them can line up the tracks. If you have any questions about how to do that, get a hold of me. I can walk you through it, or ask around. You might know somebody that gets into recording that can do it. You don't need fancy equipment. You don't need to go pay for studio time. We're not going for a Grammy. We're just out to have fun and reach people and focus on one particular subject. And that's where the truth part comes in. So the song is about something in particular, and then along with that music, what we do is we get it whatever subject I've chosen that the song is about, we also look a little bit at whatever the issue is, and I mention like one thing that you can do to address the issue. If it's a good thing, then we figure out ways to encourage it. If it's a bad thing, ways to make it cease. And if it's something that people don't know about, how can we get the information out there? A lot of this is not just going and looking up sites that are already made or whatever, or reading a book about something that is already known about it. It's about being engaged and being creative, not just with the music, but with ways to come up with solutions and encourage a better world, and reach out to other people. And then you take whatever you got from what I mentioned that you could do, and then you add your part, and now we've doubled what we know about whatever it is and how we can make things better. You hand it off to everybody that you know in person and online, and you ask them to add one thing. And then it's going to be 3, and then 4, 20, a million. Proactive, and tying it in with some creative stuff to make it fun. So that is it. The subject for All Truth Some Guitar episode 5 is Standing Rock, North Dakota. If you don't know anything about it, the site that I'm going to mention, you can learn a whole bunch. You might already know some about it. If you do, great. Learn more. Be more involved. If you don't, just a very quick thing here. The Lakota Sioux live in Standing Rock, North Dakota. They're trying to put oil company is trying to put a pipeline through, which is risking their water and 17 or 18 million other people's water. There are many things we can do. There's a website I'm asking everybody to go to. It is called togetherforearth.one. The 4 is the number 4. The 1 is the word 1. Togetherforearth.one. You'll see a post, or you might have to scroll. If this is ways in the future when you see this, you'll have to scroll back, but you'll find some stuff. A lot of things are listed that you can do. One of them is just look into what's going on, and not just on that site, but Facebook and so forth, and you can learn about it. police are being abusive of people. Their rights are being destroyed, which means our rights are being destroyed. They're just standing up saying we don't want this to go through here because it is going to risk our water. Oil pipelines leak much more than we are aware of, as you'll find out if you didn't know already. Just in North Dakota alone, in the past 2 years, there have been 300 that the government refused to tell us about. They didn't want us to worry too much. So most of us, almost all of us, have had an image of, well, they're kind of dangerous, but not usually. Well, no. When you have 300 the government doesn't even tell us about in only one of the states in only 2 years, it's going on a lot more than they want us to know. They make a lot of money off of this, the government corporate machine. You have the people in the industry that bribe, you can call it donations if you want, but that bribe our politicians, and they've stolen our representational form of government, at the same time risking our health and our planet. And there's no reason for it, as you'll find out on that site. One of the links has to do with, it's Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Has a video where he explains some of the financial pressures on why so many pipelines are being built right now. And then also there's a link that has to do with 11 different countries and how they've shifted away from oil and fossil fuels. It doesn't happen overnight, but it can happen quicker than it might seem. And we can do it in a just and responsible manner. We can make sure that any of the workers that are in oil or coal or anything are just trained and shift over and then start working in, say, solar, geothermal, and wind. We have major dependence on oil. No one is saying that it would be overnight, but there's no reason to build this particular pipeline or many others. The United States' 5th largest export is oil. You can look that up. And the Dakota Access Pipeline is intended to get oil out of the country. For true energy independence, we don't ship oil out of the country, and we don't rely only on that when we've got free energy from the sun and the wind and just earth. I know some people that are off the grid. They've got geothermal and a couple panels. They're off the grid. They save money. So even if you don't care about the other stuff, they save money. They save money. That's a term people usually like to hear. But anyway, check out that site, togetherforearth.one, and you'll see how you can help the people out there. You can help maintain your rights, because if they're being abused, well, it'll come home to roost, and you'll be the one or somebody in your family that is paying the price for that. And also, just not only can we have cleaner fuels that can employ people right here in the United States, and possibly even have it so that we're making things and shipping them to other countries, but we don't even have the situation where we're fighting over and arguing over if a pipeline should be going through someplace, because we won't be building any pipelines. We can make it so that every single day we use just a little bit less oil and a little bit less coal. We employ more people in the cleaner energy sector. We actually add some jobs. We become financially, economically independent, or more economically independent and sustainable, environmentally sustainable. It helps in every way you could imagine. And you're not going to have a whole bunch of militarized police trying to force something through when it doesn't even need to be done in the first place. The only reason it's being done is to serve a corporation so that a few people can get rich. When the few people are being served, and the majority of the people are facing a risk, either directly with abuse or in possibly a day, a week, or a year down the line when there is environmental catastrophe, and we can easily avoid it, then we easily avoid it. You know, it's not that difficult to figure out. So I'm asking you to go to togetherforearth.one and read up, look into it elsewhere. Get a hold of me with one thing or more, but one thing that you think we can add into the mix that can help. And then take what I've offered, the website, and what you've offered, and go to other people, and let's watch this spread. We can change the world. When you look at it, how it will exponentially grow from me being one person to, if 2 people watch this, then 2 more things are added. And then if you go to people, then it spreads and it spreads and it spreads. Like you got the trunk of a tree, and then you got the branches, and then smaller branches, and then the leaves, and eventually we can completely change the world. But enough of my talk. I know a lot of you just want to do some music, so let's do some music. This thing's in the key of D, kind of. Found a little sound on some settings and so forth. I'm not going to bother showing how I got the sound, but it might be easy to work with, or it might not. If you can add any music to it, any instruments to it, then cool. If you don't, if you think you can come up with some words, spoken words, sung, or just like a chant or a mantra or something, then cool. If you just want to hum along with it. Picture people that are just trying to live the way that they want to live without environmental problems or being picked on. And that hopefully, not only that, but we can make it so that the changes that we make can offer them the opportunity to be energy independent, and then on top of that, to learn from the rich culture that they've maintained, amazingly have maintained, through so much of attempt by the government and by a lot of society to erase their culture. It's a beautiful earth-based, caring thing. And we can all learn from it. There are so many tribes out there. If you don't know anything about this, it's absolutely beautiful. The solidarity. So just picture a culture that, whatever you have to picture, but this is supposed to be music inspired by something. I put echo on there. And the recording that you download is not just going to be through the microphone on the camera; it's going to be in the computer. So it'll be a much better recording than. Let me get that set. It'll be a much better recording than you hear on the camera in the video. If you're not on AllTruthSomeGuitar.com, just go there, and then there'll be the link for downloading the music. I'm talking too much. I'm so sorry. I haven't eaten. I got no blood sugar, so my brain is not functioning right now. So anyway, I put some echo on there so that to me, I was picturing how it kind of echoes through the ages and how passed on from generation to generation. Much of their culture is it's by word. It's not something in a book, because person to person you can carry a lot more than a book, although I love books. Here we go. And if you go to record it and send a separate track, make sure you at least have this little bit on the beginning so we can line up the tracks. Okay? All right. So I got that recorded. What I'll do is I'll upload that to the site. You download it and get a hold of me with any questions. Remember to go to togetherforearth.one. Do what you can. And even if you somehow want to think, well, you know, I don't care about those people. Hopefully you do. But even if you don't, well, these are your rights. You know, if one group's rights are destroyed, then yours are too. And then even if you don't want to worry about that, it would be nice if we had a sustainable Earth. And then even if you don't want to worry about that, this can be jobs in the United States. And it can be actual energy independence. It's not going to be overnight, but we can shift. And so if you have any questions, get a hold of me. I appreciate you tuning in and being a part of this. And I'm going to sign off and go get some food. So, all right, togetherforearth.one. And this site, that if you're watching this video from somewhere else, it's AllTruthSomeGuitar.com. All right, cool. Thanks. Peace.